Everything your parents taught you about money was right, and that's exactly the problem. Save hard, buy a house, stay loyal to a good employer, get the degree. Every one of those rules was correct. They built real wealth for an entire generation. The trouble is they were correct for a country that doesn't exist anymore, and nobody updated the advice when the country changed underneath it. So you follow the map that you were handed. You did everything right and you still ended up feeling like you were falling behind. That feeling isn't a personal failing as such. You're running a 1985 playbook on a 2026 field. Now, I'm not here to tell you your parents were wrong. I'm definitely not telling you that they were stupid by any stretch of the imagination. They gave you the best advice they had, and it was good advice back then. Now, what I'm going to do is take the 3 big promises that you were raised on, show you the exact condition each one quietly depends on, and show you how every one of those conditions collapses immediately. Then I'll give you the one rule that replaces all 3. So stick around, because the last part is the whole point. The 3 dead promises tell you why you feel stuck. The new rule is the one that actually gets you out. The first promise is the big one. Save hard, buy a house, and property turns your discipline into wealth. These 2 were always really one promise, because saving was the means and the house was the end. And it worked for your parents because of one number. In the mid-80s, a typical home cost somewhere around 3 to 4 times a single full income. On one wage, a few years of disciplined saving, the deposit was reachable and the mortgage was serviceable. So being careful with money actually got you somewhere, because the thing you were saving toward sat still long enough for the saving to catch it. Frugality compounded into ownership. The race was winnable because the finish line wasn't moving. Now look at the same promise today. The typical home runs closer to 8 to 10 times full-time income, depending on the city you live. And the part that actually breaks people is the deposit. The deposit alone on a median home can now exceed a full year, sometimes 2, of your entire after-tax salary. Money you're trying to save while you're also paying record rent for. So the asset isn't sitting still anymore. It's sprinting ahead. So you can do everything right, skip the coffees, skip the holidays, save with real discipline, and watch the deposit you need to grow by more in a year than you managed to put aside in the same year. Saving used to close the gap. Now saving just slows how fast the gap widens. The rule didn't break because somewhere you became lazy. It broke because the maths reversed. The door your parents walked through is now behind a brick wall, never to be opened again. The second promise was about loyalty. Find the good employer. Stay, work hard, be loyal, persevere, climb the ladder, and they'll look after you. This did genuinely work. And it worked because loyalty used to be the 2-way deal that we entered into. You gave the company your years, and in return, you got the progression, the stronger super arrangement, the real security. Staying put was safe, it was predictable, it rewarded that particular decision. Your job hopping was the risky one, it looked bad, and this steady hand eventually won it. It's what led to more winners than losers. That condition was flipped completely though. Loyalty is frequently the thing that actually costs you. In a world that restructures and rolling redundancies, the person who stays in one seat for a decade often ends up earning a lot less in real terms. And that person who moves every couple of years resets their pay to the market each and every time. There's even a name for it now, the loyalty penalty. They were rewarded for staying. You get quietly taxed for it. And the security that was supposed to come with that loyalty, the idea that a good employer has your back, evaporate the moment a spreadsheet upstairs needs a number to go down. The deal that your parents promised you isn't just a weaker one anymore. It's been absolutely reversed and obliterated. The third promise was the one that you're probably most proud of. Get the degree because the degree guarantees a better income and a predictable pathway. When your parents said this, the degree was rare, and rare was the entire point. When only a small slice of people held one, the degree was a genuine signal, and the income premium attached to it was real, and it was large and significant. Getting the qualification actually separated you from the pack because there was a pack to be separated from. Now the condition, the degree, stopped being rare. When nearly everyone has one and it stops being a signal, it becomes the baseline. The thing you need just to be considered, not the thing that makes you stand out anymore. Meanwhile, you carry HEX debt that indexes upward every year, and a meaningful share of graduates end up in roles that never require a degree in the first place. It's diabolical. The qualification that was a launch pad for them is for a lot of people now the entry ticket with a bill attached to it. It didn't get you ahead, it got you to the start line and it got you in debt. Now, here's the thing that I want you to actually see, the part that ties all of these things together. Every one of those promises rested on one same single assumption, that security is actually something that you earn from inside of the system, something an institution hands you for playing by its rules. An employer hands you stability. A bank hands you a mortgage on an asset that grows. A university hands you a premium. Your whole financial life outsourced to institutions that promise to reward you for good behavior. The assumption has died. The institutions quietly changed the payouts, but forgot to tell you about them. So the new rule, the one that replaces all three, is this. Stop trying to win a game whose rewards have been switched off. Build something that you own and can sell directly, that no employer controls, no institute can devalue overnight. Now, here's the part that almost nobody expects. The most ownable thing in the country isn't a house and it isn't a business. It needs no capital, no degree, no permission, and you can start building it around your job right now that you already have without burning the boats. It's one communication skill. It's the ability to sell. So you sit in front of another human being and move them to a decision. It's a skill that almost everyone was taught to look down on, and it's quietly the most portable, highest ceiling asset ordinary people can build from absolute nothing, from zero. This is the part that I know something about. One of the people I worked with had done everything on the list, the degree, the steady job, the years of loyalty, mid-30s. And she still felt like the floor was tilting away from her exactly as I've just described in this video. Now, the thing to remember is that she wasn't lazy and she wasn't bad with money. She had just followed a map for a country that was gone now. Inside about a year of learning to actually sell, she built an income alongside her work that her salary was never going to give her. Because for the first time, it was hers, not rented from an employer or someone who could actually restructure it away. My own business runs high ticket sales, and I've spent years training closers from scratch, watching people with no background at all get so good that they're paid for it very quickly. Now, that's what the Freedom Academy does and why we exist, to teach one skill and the new rules that actually reward this economy and this world right now. So let me give it to you straight, the way I promised at the start. Your parents weren't wrong. They were right about a country that no longer exists. Save, buy a house, stay loyal, get the degree, and all of it worked out because the conditions underneath all held up, and all of those conditions now have quietly collapsed. They've disappeared. The new rule is the one that survives this change. Build a skill you own and can sell directly whenever you want from wherever you like, because that's the one form of security nobody can hand you and nobody can ever take back. Now, the old map is dead, and the 3-day high ticket closer challenge is where you can start drawing a new one. It's 3 days of building the skill, not 3 days of listening to me talk about it, the theory. It's actually you working through understanding how it all works. You've got the foundation skill that you can start applying immediately. Now, the link is pinned in the comments, and I can assure you it's the one thing that's worth doing as soon as this video ends. Now, if you'd rather see the conditions laid bare than get sold to fantasy, I want you to subscribe, hit that button, and stay tuned, because this is what this channel is all about.